Well, hello again, and welcome to this session on glue, the glue that binds us, on an overview of how you can collaborate better integrating BIM 360 glue. So first thing is, the things I'm going to cover over the next few minutes to give you an idea on what glue is, how it works in your workflow, how it integrates with your current software, and also sort of the basic usage and what you can get out of that. So first of all, what is BIM 360 glue? Although it's been renamed several times, currently named BIM 360 glue, is pretty much, if you compare it to any other software, it's like Navisworks on the web, but it's a lot more powerful. It has a cloud-based BIM management solution that works for all trades, so pretty much any building projects. It will provide access to the project models, the data, and everything in the collaborative workflow across authoring tools. So it means if you're using Revit, if you're using any of the formats that actually allow that collaboration in terms of 3D, Glue is actually the solution for you. And again, it expands on what Navisworks does in terms of access. So it works seamlessly actually with using your current Navisworks application, and that's something I'll show you in just a few moments. So in terms of project lifecycle, one of the things you want to start doing early on is once you start developing a BIM model, whether it's for conceptualization, going through design, through implementation docs, construction, and all the way to FM, is to be able to circulate that data throughout. And one of the things you can do is incorporate that for many different levels, processes, such as coordination. So in terms of the building life cycle, again, it starts off with a 3D model that is a concept. It goes all the way through analysis and performance, but then it starts in the way that you start involving the resolving of conflicts, in which you now start wasting a lot of time in generating more RFIs because there's errors that are detected on the field not early on. So again, and you can even benchmark energy use and so forth. So this is sort of the sustainable building life cycle. Same thing applies for the infrastructure life cycle in a way. And again, there's a way that you can bridge the gap between all different trades by using a centric tool that allows bringing all the different formats. Doesn't matter what you work on. It could be Revit, it could be AutoCAD, it could be Bentley, doesn't matter, as long as it provides a 3D geometry, it allows you to access that data. So it works for a very large ecosystem for solutions. Pretty much integrates the 2D and 3D data through different plugins, some built in directly into the applications like Navisworks, or sometimes it's just going through the web-based application, which I'm going to show you in just a second, and dragging and dropping into the cloud. What's cool is that you have access to it online and offline, so you can take that whole model with you and look at it in the field if you need to. You can also integrate object attribute information, so you can look at things in the field and actually relate to what you're looking at. And for facility management workflow, that really fits very well. So eventually, it's pretty much about delivering the information directly to your desktop and also via web through like a mobile device like an iPad. So how do you get to Glue in terms of the software? It's not really a standalone application, so pretty much it's a web-based software that is a service, really. And it's a quick and seamless upload, so you can do that directly from Navisworks, you can do that from the web app, which I'm going to show you next, and you can send the files, upload, and it will be accessible to you, and they're kind of synchronized between what you're doing here and saving it on the cloud. So let's get to the meat of the presentation, which is using the software. So to give you an idea on how this works, pretty much Glue, and actually I'll just give you a few screenshots for us. It does everything that Navisworks can do, except for the 4D simulation. So pretty much which is something very popular, if what is important to you is coordination, clash detection, making sure that you address those issues that are found throughout the design construction process. You can definitely do that on this particular feature software service, but I think the greatest thing is how it simplifies the geometry. If you compare to what it does in terms of how Navisworks does it versus Glue, I think Glue has a way to even further break down the model in a way that is easily managed, and it sort of allows that seamless navigation without any problems in terms of graphic issues, in terms of choppiness and so forth. And I've actually seen for a fact how you can do both the web-based option, which is the Glue, versus the Navisworks standalone, and it's really, there's actually a difference there. So again, one of the things that are the Glue is very good at is to be able to easily navigate the model, be able to do a clash detection, Again, you can use the same kind of reporting that Navisworks does. So it means that it works with different formats, doesn't matter what you do. You can compile them all together, you can resolve the clashes, annotate them, generate a report, and really at the end, doesn't matter what BIM tool you use, it allows for that seamless, what they call democratization of BIM. So, the beauty of it, which I like a lot, is quick access to problems. So what that means is you can easily just run a coordination clash between two trades. Let's say MEP, mechanical against structural, and you can say, well, show me this particular issue, it will jump right into it, and I'll show you just in that a second, and then you can say, share this with the team, or share this with a specific, maybe the BIM coordinator for the structural engineer, and then they get an email with the screenshot so they can jump right into it. So it's like a super quick and easy access to the issues and addressing them. I'd say because it supports over 30 different formats, it works with everything really. And again, even if it doesn't work with the format that you want, you can always collaborate and export from the main source format into something that is supported, such as an FBX or a DWG and so forth. And again, I think it's all about easy accessibility and how is user friendliness, how you can really get immersed in using the application so fast and so quick. I mean, if you look at the current screenshot here, if you had an iPad and you download the Autodesk 360 Glue, you see that even the gestures have a lot of different specific conditions. So for instance, if you click on tab, you select an object. If you double tap, it actually zooms in into it. If you pinch, you zoom. If you spread, you zoom out. If you walk, it's simply sliding up and down. So it does give you a lot of control. But let me actually go through what Glue really means and how, seeing it in action. So one thing that I did skip was to get into my login screen, which actually I'll do that from here. I installed what they call the BIM 360 Glue sort of service. So when I double click on it, it actually launches the application. I already have it open, so that's why here. You can sign in into the app, and then you'll see, similar to a lot of the things that you have accessible on the Autodesk 360 Cloud, you can now access this, and let's look at it just like if you had it in front of you. So this, you can see it through my viewer here, but you can also see it through the iPad. And what's cool about it is how easy something that large, and I have now 3 trades involved in the same model. So I got the electrical, I got the mechanical, and I got the MEP, the whole plumbing and electrical, and the structural, all in one. So this is very seamless in terms of navigation. You can see a 2D view of where you stand right now, but it's just the access to the tools. What you see is what you get. So pretty much, it's just simplifying the way that you access the models, how you can start generating certain things like markups, certain things like dimensioning, annotating, and best of all, the clashing. So let's start with the sort of how things are organized here. I think in terms of dimensioning, one of the things you can do pretty quick is point-to-point dimensioning, where you can say from here to here, how far that is, and you can do that in 3D, and you can be pretty accurate, and you can do this on the web. So it's very, very cool. It's very accessible. You can do area, you can do point-to-point, you can do angle, and that's just the dimensioning. Now, in terms of the models that you have here, one of the things that is pretty cool about this is if you export, let's say, a Revit model, it will actually itemize every single element available in the model. What that means is, I can zoom in here, I can click on an object, doesn't matter what it is, and it will tell me, if I want to, the properties of that object. So I can look at it, and again, everything I'm showing you is web-based. So I can see this actually on my iPad if I wanted to. And you can see sort of what the properties of that element is, including what the phase level it was created, what level is it on, the source file. And that's just sort of so you can identify the objects. So let's move a little bit further past that. One thing that is great is the ability to capture snapshots that you can share with the team. Not just on issues, but maybe like accessing the areas. Like for instance, you can just go to the front view by clicking on it, garden view by clicking on it, dining view, and it's so fast. That's the beauty of it. It's one of the things I'm pretty impressed with the tool, is the ability of do things that typically take a lot longer on tools like Navisworks. Again, giving you the same access, the same data, but just a lot faster. So you can see how even snapshots that contain certain information like a section, you can see it right there and save this shot. But this is what I was saying before. What if I wanted to email this to the team? I can click it here, there's a little email button, and just like a CZ email address, I can message everybody saying, hey, something changed here, and everybody gets an instant update. Really, really smooth collaboration. Everybody's aware of everything is changing, but one thing I really like is the activity level. You can have multiple people access the same file, and you can see sort of accountability, not accountability, but keeping track of everything that has been done, whether it's somebody that generated a report, or somebody that dimensioned anything, or somebody that added a markup. So you can see a track of all the activities, but at the same time, you can add markups that can associate those activities to. So for instance, if I create a new markup here, I can start generating even a name for it. I can start highlighting areas that I want to notate that are wrong. Maybe I want to, circle a specific point that needs to be conditioned. Then I can save this markup. It creates a new shot of this particular area, and then I can email it to the whole team or just the person that I want to show it. So that kind of marking up collaboration, that's actually one step, but really, I think the biggest key point of how Glue is powerful is the clashing. So for instance, one thing I already took a liberty of doing before the demo was hitting the clash button, generate the clashing, and it found 37,000 problems between the structural, every model. So what I did is I run everything against everything. You can pretty much organize it, so you can say just the mechanical against the structural, or you can even group it. So you can group things within just architectural and say, I run the beams against the columns or beams against ductwork. And then what's cool about it is it gives you every single clash, which again can be grouped. You can select it and watch what happens. It jumps right into it and it gives you, see? That's actually really cool. And it's very smooth in the way it navigates. So then this particular area right here, I can add a comment, say, what's up with this? Just kidding. So then you can say, well, there's a problem here, and you can just simply email that to the team that is already logged into the record, and then again, group those errors, address them, have that coordination meeting, and do that even offline. Or if you want to, you can do this web-based. So again, this allows you to have access to pretty much every problem that has been pre-detected in the field, or even before things being, foundation has been started. So again, it gives you pretty much the power of Navisworks on an iPad or on the web, and is accessible to anybody that just downloads the free app, by the way. So again, it's accessible to pretty much anybody. I'd say something new in 2014 that I want to show, and I actually have a screenshot here, is that, well, first of all, the iPad access, you can navigate and move, and I have just some screenshots so you can see sort of what you could do here in terms of navigation, in terms of access, dimensioning. I think one of the greatest features within Glue is the ability to use it in an iPad and mobile devices. One of the things you can do is to be able to interact with the model in a very seamless way through using different gestures such as tapping, single finger drag, pinch, walking, by sliding your finger, double tapping, two finger drag. So all of those things you can easily just intuitively get used to and accustomed and start generating like I'm showing you here in a few slides. So it's very immersive navigation. You can start walking, and you can even assign things like gravity, so you feel like you're exploring the model in a way that it makes a lot of more realistic sense. And again, you can, like I said, navigate using your fingers. You can use the same similar concept, not just on the iPad, but in the web-based application. So again, it allows for all the things that I mentioned a few minutes ago in terms of dimensioning, in terms of selecting objects, even on the clashing side. So everything is accessible through a finger touch. So one last thing is the ability to integrate it, and this is a new 2014 feature, integrated with Navisworks. So that means that now, from within Navisworks, you can go straight to Glue and back from Glue and start working on the same model. Why is that a good thing? Because Glue has its limitations in terms of what you can do. You can generate the clash reports, you can generate all these different, access all this information, navigate the information, but then in terms of generating, let's say, the 4D analysis for sequencing the project construction or maybe mapping the project schedule, that's something that you actually go back to Navisworks, but it's the seamless integration that makes it great because they both complement each other. The other thing is quantification. Something new in 2014 is the ability to do quantity takeoff, to map it into a report so you can start worrying about estimating and that kind of thing. So on those aspects, in terms of things that Glue cannot do, Navisworks can pick it up and they have a very seamless collaboration. And of course, you have all of this available for free in terms of the mobile app, and you can access the Navisworks models. Like I said, one of the things I would recommend is going online, signing up for an account for Autodesk 360, and you can then start testing your 360 Glue through uploading either from Navisworks, from a trial version, or even just signing up for testing some of those samples that you have available. So again, you have online and offline access, which I think makes it great, rather than carrying a whole set of package drawings instead of just taking your iPad and accessing that file at any time when you need it. So hopefully, that gives you a good, good informative tips on what Glue does and how it does it. There's some additional things that you can do to maximize and streamline the process, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you about that. So hopefully this gives you a good understanding of what Glue is, its capabilities, and some of the new features that are integrating it in your workflow. Thank you.